Hello. Great to have you here. My name is Shauna. Today's reading is a general love forecast. As always, take the messages that resonate and release anything that doesn't. Don't forget to like and subscribe to stay connected with upcoming readings. Let's see what's headed your way. I want you to be a little bit careful as to your financial dealings with another person, okay? Because what I'm sensing here is I'm feeling a big energy, especially for those with children. There might be some financial concerns as to, how to properly take care of the children, how to cater to their own, health needs and things like that. So for those of you with young children, I would say under the age of 5, under the age of 7 specifically, I do see like, 5 months, 7 months old, 5 years, 7 years old, and especially under that age. I do sense that there might be, a little bit of illness, flus, minor cold, and things like that, or even, like tumble. So just be very, very vigilant with the children for this month. Be very careful if you are in a daycare setting and you're taking care of other people's children. Be extra vigilant for this month, okay? I do see some issues coming through with parents coming through for complaints and things like that, and you're going to have to do some damage control as it pertains to like working in an environment with children or dealing with your own children. So that's coming through. Just be extra attentive. What I feel is a lot of you are getting yourself into, you're either seeing like medical professionals, you're getting some type of second, third opinion regarding some health issues. You're also taking better care of your health, like doing more physical activities. I do see jogging, I do see kickboxing, aerobics, and things like that for some of you. I do see it for like men and women alike. So I feel like you're getting yourself into a situation where you're feeling a lot more empowered. You're feeling like you're more capable of taking care of yourself physically. So I feel like, there is a sense of like coming into your own sense of empowerment and then doing something about your physical health or even strength training for a lot of you in order to like be fit, feel better about yourself, and also being able to take care of yourself. So I do see a lot of women specifically signing up for even self-defense courses. I do see that as well. There's a sense of like, a commute. So for those of you who are working, I feel like you might have to commute quite a ways to get to work. I see like, I don't see a lot of you are taking your own vehicles. A lot of you might be commuting back and forth. And there might be like a dark alley or dark streets and things like that that you're walking to get home. So it's part of your commute. And I feel like you're doing so on foot, like, going from like a metro station to a bus stop or something like that. And I feel that you want to be a little bit careful. Carry some proper things to protect yourself, mace or something like that. Because I do feel, especially if you are commuting in a dark area that's not well lit, and especially if it's a dangerous area, just be careful, okay? Try to minimize the commute and try to avoid sketchy places, sketchy people. What I'm also feeling is that they're saying some official court documents are coming through, and I feel like it's linked up with another person regarding custody issues. So these things are coming through. The sooner you finalize it, the less that you fight it, the easier it's going to be for you. So there's a warning here about, trying to go with the flow and trying to just acquiesce to the other person, because I feel like that's going to be more helpful for you further down the line rather than, letting this situation drag on, okay? So I do see some official documents pertaining to like how the children are being taken care of, how much money you're making. So there's a lot of numbers that you're filling in. I see you like at a desk with like, some really serious like paperwork, and you're filling in like how much you're making, you're filling in how much money is being expended towards, certain necessities like commute, transportation, housing, lodging, etc., even groceries. So all these things are coming through. I do feel for a lot of you there might be a shift in your housing situation, And I do feel that this is not a shift that some of you are not welcoming this shift, okay? You might be in a place where you feel like it's very, very, that you feel might be stable. It might not be the best environment, but you feel that it is stable. And they're pretty much telling you that um, there's a shift to a different dwelling, okay? And I feel like you might have to physically move your things from one place to the next. So just be a little bit careful out there. I do see a lot of like just it's not the most pleasant vibe that I'm picking up, so just be a little bit careful about that, okay? And I feel like it might even just, apply to a very small minority of you or even just one person out there. But the message needs to be said, especially if you are, walking around after a commute from work and you're in a darker area, okay? I do see a lot of goodwill coming through, so I feel that you are either doing a lot of community service, you're in a position where you might need to do community service, or you are doing community service with your family, with some type of organization. I feel that it's going to be very helpful for you further down the line, okay? So that's my recommendation. What I'm also feeling is a lot of you, they're saying be very careful about gambling, be very careful about huge financial investments. This is not the month for you to it's not a good month overall for any type of risky financial endeavors, okay? So investment opportunities, stocks, bonds, and things like that. If you're doing it like last minute based on a tip from somebody else, just be very careful. A lot of you, I feel like there's something that has broken down, and I feel like you're scooping in and you're getting something for, a fraction of the price. And I feel like a lot of it pertains to like appliances, things that people don't want anymore. A lot of it is like linked up with, housing, like a plot of land, a factory with the equipment still intact. So I feel like you're scooping in on the aftermath of some situation that has happened that is not related to you, and you're getting a very, very good deal on these things for a fraction of the price. So if it hasn't happened already, then I feel that it's going to come through. But I feel like overall, no gambling, like don't take major risks when it comes to your financial resources. I don't feel that's going to bode well, okay? Just be careful about that. Consistency is the best way, I feel. And if you are in any type of business partnership with other people, I feel like, two or more people, just be a little bit more conservative when it comes to which areas you want to expand and which direction you want to go towards, okay? So let's go into your reading here. One of the first two cards that are coming through here is the Six of Cups and the King of Pentacles. So let's talk about this first. The King of Pentacles is an earth sign, and I feel like this person has shown up a few times now. So the King of Pentacles, this is an earth sign, a male or female, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, Sun, Moon, or Rising. This is somebody with a lot of financial wealth, a lot of financial abundance, and they give very, very solid, good advice when it comes to how to make money, how to maintain your financial situation, and how to secure a lot of financial resources. They are somebody who's very resourceful. They give very good advice on the practical front as well. This is somebody coming through with a major offer in store for you, okay? I feel like for a lot of you, this might come in as a job and be a person that is like a headhunter, a middleman that is trying to link you up with, career opportunities or job opportunities and things like that. So I feel that financially, for those of you who are working, you're in a very, very secure work environment. And it is really important for you to understand that, if this work environment is secure, be very diligent about what you're doing. Be very diligent about, making sure all of your responsibilities are taken care of. Okay, so don't rest on your laurels, and especially just make sure that everything is, done properly from your end. Don't cut corners. Okay, it's linked up here with the Six of Cups. And the Six of Cups usually indicates to me a card that deals with children. So a lot of you might be working in an environment where you are dealing with children. So I want you to be extra careful, okay? Because I feel like wherever you're working at, it's a very reputable institution. So whatever the work environment seems like to you, I feel that it's a very well respected establishment. And I feel that a lot of people place a lot of trust on the institution as well as the people that work there. So I do feel you're in a very good, you know, financial situation right now. And if you are dealing with children, be very careful for this month, okay? What I do sense as well is for a lot of you, you are dealing here with an earth sign that is coming through in order to provide some type of assistance towards you. And I feel that it might be just, good tiding and as well as, good advice on how to manage things, how to do things a little bit more efficiently. So I feel for some of you, you might have been like overly idealistic in the past where you are like, it's like, it's almost like looking at a situation in a very idealistic manner and hoping for all these things to pan out. And I feel like you have so much on your plate that a lot of the things that you are thinking about starting, you're not really taking the steps to get there. So on the one hand, you're daydreaming about all the potential, especially income generating endeavors, creative skills that you can make money from. And I do feel that they're telling you, there's somebody coming through in order to get these ideas off the ground so that they become a reality. So they're no longer pipe dreams. You have a lot of like restructuring with your ideas that needs to be done, especially if you have creative ideas, arts and crafts and things like that, that you're hoping to make, you're hoping to sell, you're hoping to like generate income for you. You have somebody coming through in order to give you solid advice as how to partner up with them or even how to make this, all the things that you have conjured up, how to make them grow for you, how to make them have money come through for you. So I feel like a lot of realism is being imbued into creative projects in order to get, financial backing, financial stability, in order to market them in a way that would appear to the masses. Okay, so you're in a very good position right now. For others of you, I do sense as well that you are dealing with an earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, and this is an energy that has been coming through quite frequently. And I feel that you are dealing with this person. It's like a karmic relationship. I feel it's family. I feel that it could also be, um, you, I, I'm just going to stick with family now because I'm going to go into your love reading in a little bit. I feel like you're dealing with this person, and I feel that there's like, once again, the message is they have been very, very patient and they're trying their best to, understand where you're coming from. So I feel for some reason there might have been strained communication between you and this earth sign, like you are talking past one another. I feel like there's a lot of affection, there's a lot of affection and devotion, but I feel that they are kind of like keeping you at arm's length, okay? On the one hand, they're there when you need them, but on the other hand, they're keeping you at arm's length mainly because you two just don't get along. So I feel that coming through. So Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, Sun, Moon, or Rising. And I feel like this is somebody that you still have very, very significant ties with. The second cluster here is the Eight of Pentacles as well as the Fool. The Eight of Pentacles, when I look at this card, it's, especially in the traditional Rider-Waite deck, it's a card about sending out resumes, okay? Like creating multiple copies of the same thing and then sending them out to the universe and hoping something will, catch somebody's eyes, okay? So I traditionally think of this as somebody who is out looking for a job. And what's really interesting, though, is this is a job offer, but then the sending out resume is still coming through. So I feel like a lot of you might have been in a job. There might have been, kind of like another person in that job environment recruiting you, or they are telling you that, there's other opportunities at this other company. So why don't you send out your resume and see what you land? So I feel like a lot of you are in a position where you are looking for new work. You are a little bit worried when it comes to your financial situation, so I feel that you are looking for new work. There might be new family, like new additions to the family, and so you're trying to increase your income generating potential, so you're looking for what you love, okay? So I feel like a lot of you are in a position where you're sending out your resumes, you are networking, you are looking at professional contacts and see if there are other opportunities elsewhere. What's linked up with the Eight of Pentacles here is the Fool, and the Fool is a very positive card that indicates like taking risks with new ventures, no longer being, happy or content with the status quo, and venturing out, charting new territory, taking a lot of risks, and, being hopeful that something else that is better will come through for you. It's a card about grabbing new opportunities when they come through. So I feel on the work front, a lot of you are, or at least were, in a situation, it is stable, but you want more out of life. So you are venturing out, looking at new territories when it comes to, landing new work and pursuing new work. I feel like a lot of you might be working like the traditional job where you are working for other people rather than self-employed. With the Aquarius energy, I feel like a lot of them are self-employed. And, it's stable, but I feel as well that a lot of you have many, many creative projects that you're dabbling in on the side is not making as much money for you. You might have counted on it making a lot more money, but I feel that you're more inclined towards like the traditional 9 to 5, working for another person, and you're branching off and trying to find, a new employment opportunities. And there is a little bit of worries here regarding, financial resources, and I feel that it's really important for you to be very conservative for this month when it comes to spending. Okay, just be careful about that. Don't be extravagant with spending. I know that you have a very, very big heart and love all your affection buying them really expensive gifts. It's not a smart move to do that if you are struggling financially. So I feel that a lot of you might be buying a lot of like expensive items for the people that you love on credit, and you might not have the financial backing in order to do so. Be very, very, very careful. It's a really good month to be a lot more conservative with your spending. Okay, so don't take these, like at the end of our lives, these material things don't really matter. So don't do that. Okay, just spend within your limits, because I feel like a lot of you are going overboard here with the Fool card, and it's sort of like throwing caution to the wind, not heeding your financial situation and spending, like exceeding your credit limit. Just be careful about that. So obviously that's not going to apply to all, but if you have the tendency to, emotionally spend and to shower a lot of trinkets and gifts on the people that you love, especially grandkids and things like that, or even nieces and nephews, but I feel like anybody that you love, you shower a lot of love and items and trinkets. And if you're not in a position where you can afford that, it's foolish to do that. Okay, just be careful, Pisces. What is coming through next here? We have the Five of Pentacles and the Ace of Wands. So I want to talk about this first here. This is a card about financial loss, okay? This is a card about like not having a place to come to and feeling a little bit like isolated, feeling a little bit kind of like out in the cold. And as it pertains to your financial situation, I feel a lot of you who are, if you're retired, and especially if you're in between job, there are new income generating potential, like, working on a commission base, sales, and things like that are coming through. They're not stable so that you're not too financially strapped. Okay, so if you are kind of like on the market for a brand new job, don't stop what you're doing, because I feel like this is a very temporary gig that's going to help you get through the rough times, but it's not going to be 100% stable. It's also not going to be permanent, but it is also there. And especially if you are in a housing situation and you're looking for new houses as well, I do see a shift when it comes to property. You will land a new house. The Ace of Wands usually indicates like new purchase opportunities, especially when it comes to housing. And I do feel this coming through with the Five of Pentacles. If you have a property you're trying to sell and you're eyeing another property, I feel that you're kind of like in suspension because you're trying to liquidate one first before you have the funds to invest in another. And I feel that the house that you are getting rid of, or that you are selling, it might have a lot of sentimental value and you don't want to sell the house. But I feel that it is really important for you, if you need the financial resources to get rid of the house, the price that you're getting, the price that you're asking versus the price that you're getting, there is a little bit of a discrepancy. But if you've had some property that is depreciating in value, it is a really important time to try to liquidate, try to get rid of it, shift yourself into a new house. I do see, something in the northern direction of wherever you are currently dwelling, and I do feel it's going to be a lot more beneficial for you as well. Okay, I see northern and I see western direction. It's going to be a lot more beneficial for you. Okay, so it's pretty much the end of the line when it comes to financial worries as well. So I do sense that, this month is opening up a period of a lot more, I guess, opportunities coming through, creative opportunities that might be short term, but it's still very good. And you're still consistently sending out resumes in order to land new jobs. So I feel like there's a lot of movement happening with you rather than stagnation, which is good. Okay? What is coming through next here? We have the Four of Pentacles as well as the Ten of Swords. And I was going to pull out a few more cards here for the Ten of Swords just to see what it pertains to. Okay. So let me talk about this Ten of Swords first. The Ten of Swords is a situation that is like done and over with, and it's not coming back together in the way that you'd hope, okay? I feel for a lot of you, you might have hung on to a situation way past its expiration date. For a lot of you, I feel that it is property that might belong to like property that you have sentimental ties with. And you have really hung on to it. You try to do, restoration. You try to fix it up. You try to live in it. But I do feel that it is not something that is that can be retained, and it's way too expensive to retain. So if you're fixing up some type of property because you have sentimental ties to it, they're pretty much telling you to try to relinquish, because I feel like it's more of a burden for you financially and emotionally than it is going to I don't feel that it's gonna even if you were to fix it up, I feel that the value you're getting for it is not going to be worth the cost of fixing up. So sentimental ties that we have to things and people, these things are good in themselves, but you have to be a little bit more practical and grounded when it comes to where you are investing your energy. I feel a lot of you are maintaining it mainly because of these emotional ties, these sentimental ties, and you have sentimental values to things and people, and they might not always be good for you. So they're pretty much telling you to reassess, okay? So this is pretty much the end of the line. You need to release a situation. You need to move on with your life, mainly because I feel that these emotional ties are acting like they're kind of like an anchor to the past, and they're weighing you down, and they're not allowing you to move forward in a way where you can live your life and just be free of these burdens from the past. Okay, so you're going to have to really cut ties here, and I feel a lot of it has to do with property. I pulled out two cards here. We have the Six of Pentacles, and the Six of Pentacles, this is generational, like giving alms, generational wealth as well in this deck. And the Six of Pentacles is a card about generosity. It's a situation where you have one person giving out a lot of themselves to other people. When it shows up in the reverse position, it basically indicates to me you don't have enough of yourself to give. So you need to pull back your energy, and you need to like really make sure that the people and the avenues that you are dumping your love and affection and resources are worth it. Okay, so I feel like a lot of you might be in a situation where you have like children, grandchildren. You're giving them a lot of your financial resources, and they feel like you might be made of money, and they might be taking advantage of this situation. Okay, and you might just like I feel that generosity is fine. However, it's creating some type of dependencies in the people that you're dealing with, where they're not really taking ownership and accountability for the things that they're doing, mainly because somebody is always there to bail them out. So it can be, if you're in an institution, for example, it can also deal with a situation where it's creating like dependencies in the people that are relying on the generosity, the financial assistance of that situation, and they're not doing anything to better themselves. So I do feel creating like dependencies in a very unhealthy way, as well as creating a lot of like this, cultivating this sense of entitlement where people are not really taking, ownership for their responsibilities for their lives. So that's coming through as well. The Six of Pentacles is traditionally money coming through from an institution. This can be child support. This can also be unemployment, disability, and things like that. When it shows up in the reverse position, it basically means there is some rearrangement, renegotiations when it comes to either child support, disability, as well as unemployment benefits. Okay, so there is a situation where you are going to have to be extra cautious with how you're spending your money, because the money coming through from, that other avenue, from that institutional money, is being diminished or being renegotiated or being cut back somehow. So just be careful about how you are managing your resources. It's also linked up here with the Ace of Pentacles, and the Ace of Pentacles basically means a new job. This is kind of like, so if you are getting money, compensation either through the disability or unemployment, I feel there's a new job coming through. And as a result of getting a new job, I don't feel like you are going to need this money anymore. And then for others of you who are getting like, alimony or even getting child support, I feel that the terms of the contracts are being renegotiated because you landed a job and you're making more, so your income is stable. So I feel like there's a lot of good change around, reversals as it pertains to money, and it can be very beneficial for a lot of you. Just manage your financial resources very carefully for this month, okay? In terms of your spiritual advice, what we have here is the Hierophant. And the Hierophant basically means family, institution, things that have been around for a very, very, very long time. It's a situation where there's a lot of rigidity, there's a lot of like structure, hierarchy, as well as there's lack of creative thinking. So I feel that either the people who are around you or the work environment that you're in, there's a lot of this coming through, like, conforming, bandwagoning, and things like that. And I feel that it's really important for you to try to break out and for you to try to chart your own territory. So don't succumb to this need to like conform or to do what everybody else is doing. Because I feel what's going to really be in your favor here is charting new territory and understanding what is appropriate for yourself, so that you're not living like you're not living based on other people's standards, based on other people's ideal, and you're actually more authentic and true to yourself. I feel that a lot of you, if you are dealing with a fire sign in a family type of situation as well. So a fire sign is a Sagittarius, Sagittarius, Aries, or a Leo. This is a this can be their sun, moon, or rising. If you are financially linked up with this person, if you are in a marriage or even like in a family situation with this person, I do see a lot of extensive dealing with this person coming through for this month. I feel that, you are trying to be the conservative one, and they are somebody who's brash, who's a little bit more difficult, who's a little bit more like here today, gone tomorrow. They might not be the most reliable. I do feel there is a coming together between you and this person to talk about your differences. And especially if it's a family member, I do see there's massive karma coming through as well. Earth sign and fire sign. Okay, so Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, Sagittarius, Aries, and Leo. That is, I feel there's going to be trips taken, and they're coming to see you in order to hash out some differences between, freedom versus like stability. So those issues are coming through. The Prince of Wands usually indicates to me travel. And this is, traveling long distance for a job, traveling, taking a risk with a new job opportunity. Like I mentioned, investment opportunities, stocks, and, risking it big, risky endeavors, especially on the finance front, is not that great for this month. But if you are traveling in order to go on interviews for a new job, it's going to be very fruitful for you. So what I'm also sensing is, for a lot of you, I get this vibe, and this is not going to apply for all, But I feel that a lot of you might have lived in an environment that was very closed off. So you might have lived in like a smaller area, a smaller town, and I feel that you know you might have like gone off like to do a lot of travel, and now you're coming back home to the place where you grew up. And I feel that you are outgrowing a lot of the people that you used to you used to jive really well with. So I do feel that, you know, your philosophical outlook is expanding. Your financial situation is also expanding for the better. So there's a lot of like forward looking, you know, progressive energy about you. And I do sense that people in your environment are kind of have been keeping you down. So I do feel it is really important to, you know, once again, release, cut ties, seek new opportunities. And especially if it comes to like the on the work front, because that's the only way that you're going to be able to break away and to have the financial backing in order to expand your geographical location, move houses, move jobs, move into a new area, okay? And as well, seek more like-minded people, okay? I'm actually going to pull out another card here with the Hierophant and see what's going on. Okay, so we have the Four of Swords in the reverse position. This is a card about like staying at home, maintaining the status quo, not wanting to disrupt the status quo, or disrupt equilibrium, or disrupt some type of situation that might not have been comfortable, but at least it was stable. When it's in the reverse position, it's basically challenging authority. It's basically fighting for people who have been dealt the short end of the stick. I feel like a lot of you are, this can be good or bad, but a lot of you are taking on a very, very courageous air for this month, and you are fighting for people who don't really have a voice, who can't really speak up for themselves, and you are fighting for some type of injustice as well. And be very careful of that martyrdom complex, okay? It comes in for a lot of Piscean people that I've read for. So, you know, you need to take care of yourself before you can take care of other people. And there is a way to do this where, you know, you might not need to like overturn authority hierarchy in order to get your point across, or in order to achieve some type of goal. You can help people from the ground up. Just be very methodical and systematic about how you're going about this, because this energy, as your energy, is a little bit rash. It's a little bit I guess like abrasive. It can rub people the wrong way, okay? So the Knight of Wands, are the fastest moving knight in the deck. Well, actually it's the Knight of Swords, so this is a little bit slower, but I feel that it's all fire. It's all like you know, moral high ground. It's all like, it's an energy that is very like it's disruptive, and it's not as well thought out as you would hope, okay? So this is a situation where impulse control is going to be very vital for you for this month. And so I feel a lot of you are charging into a situation where you feel like you yourself or other people have been treated wrongly, and you are trying to, you know, fix the situation, and you're trying to do it in a way where I feel like, you know, your heart's in the right place, but you want to be a little bit careful and a little bit methodical. So if you are leaving a work environment where you feel like it's no longer working, people are being exploited, or I feel like they're being exploitative, you're going to shift into a new job, and the new job is going to be very phenomenally good for a lot of you, okay? So overall, it's going to be a little bit of a strange month. I feel a lot of shifts, a lot of movement are happening for you, and I feel like it's going to be a little bit more disruptive than you would hoped, because as a water sign, I feel that, you know, you enjoy, you know, calmness within your environment, but I feel like something is coming through to either push you in a new direction when it comes to career, when it comes to work, or when it comes to your housing environment, okay? So it's not overly negative, but I do feel it's a lot more disruptive than you would like. So let's see what's in store for you guys for love, romance, and relationships. It's a little bit of a heavy read here, Pisces. So I'm going to pull out 3 cards for each position because I feel like the energy is a little bit heavy, okay? And I want to get like the dialogue going in a way where it explains things a little bit more thoroughly, because I have here 3 of Swords and 10 of Swords and 7 of Swords. These are not good cards for a love reading. Okay, so let me talk about the crowning energy first, because this is something that's on your mind. This is something that you are thinking about. And if it jives with you, then at least you know that the reading is meant for you, okay? So that really, I feel like it's helpful in letting people know whether or not they should continue watching or whether they should, take it with a grain of salt. But it's a little bit of a heavy energy coming through here. So we have here the King of Wands, the Hermit, and the Devil. So first of all, what I'm feeling is this. And the crowning energy is somebody that you are thinking about. And I'm feeling like I'm speaking to a lot of females in particular, like, Piscean women in this spread. Whether or not you date men, I still feel there's a very strong feminine vibe for Piscean people that are watching this. So the person that you are thinking about, they're shown up here as the King of Wands, a fire sign, Sagittarius, Aries, or Leo. This is a person I feel that might have anger issues. They might have control issues. They might have anger issues. And I feel like they are a little bit domineering, okay? They're very courageous, very brave, but I feel that there's an element here of somebody being afraid of somebody else. So there's a lot of like dominance, fear, control issues in this with this person that you were dealing with. It's linked up with the Devil card, and the Devil indicates addiction. It indicates situation where somebody is keeping you very stuck against your will, and you're trying to extract yourself, but you might not know how. You might not feel like you're in proper control of the situation. You might feel as if you're kind of like kept down or kept in bondage and chains as a result of a relationship with this person. It might have happened in the past, it might be happening now, or it's somebody that you were involved with and it left a really bitter taste in your mouth, and you're really cautious overall about trusting other people. It's linked up here with the Hermit as well. And the Hermit is a situation where I feel like a self-imposed isolation, okay? I feel that you were with somebody that possibly had anger issues. It was a situation where they kept you down and they kept you feeling very isolated. So even though you were in a relationship with them, the interaction between the two of you made you feel isolated. They might have like kept you away from your friends. They might have even kept you away from going to work. They might have kept you away from like resuming a normal lifestyle. Okay? And vice versa. This energy, I feel, is going both ways. I feel that a lot of you have a fire sign that you might have children with. And there is a cord of attachment. There are major, major karmic ties still linking the two of you that you both are not able to extract from one another. And I do feel there is an energy of like one person being very weary of the other. One person is like keeping things hush hush and not revealing too much of themselves to other people. I see somebody cowering in somebody else's presence. It can be your end from them, like cowering away from them because you're afraid, or it could be from their end where they are cowering away from you. And it might be because they're afraid of you, but I'm getting overwhelmingly control issues, anger issues, and I feel that there is massive bonds of attachment that is not breaking, and it's not a good situation for you to be in. What I'm also sensing is that you're dealing with a fire sign that might be a little bit confrontational and you're afraid. That's what I'm sensing, okay? So Sagittarius, Aries, or Leo, this is a person that has, You know, if in the past they have been kept down, if in the past they have been losing their power or giving their power away, they're fighting back. So I feel that you're dealing with a fire sign that is confrontational in general, okay? Which brings us, you know, let's look into the past and see like what got you here. So in the past position, we have here the Six of Swords. And this is what I feel though with this card is the energy is quite heavy, and I feel like this might even extend back, you know, like the past 2 years, okay? The Six of Swords is a situation where somebody is shifting away from a very, very tumultuous, troublesome, dangerous, perilous even situation into safer water. The thing about this card is that, you know, the person on the boat, they don't know where they're going, and they have trust and faith that, you know, they've been through so much in the past that wherever they're going, no matter how much it is, they're still they would still prefer the unknown to wherever they were living. Okay, so I feel like for a lot of you, you might have been in a really bad space in the past 2 years, the past 6 months. And whatever wherever you're going next, you're just like, I don't care where it is. I just hope that, you know, I'm able to leave the past behind. So I feel like it takes a lot for a person to get to the point where they're like, you know, they would rather choose the unknown than to stay with a bad situation or a bad partner. So I feel that I do sense, once again, you know, a lot of control abuse issues, substance abuse, even like anger issues, control issues coming through between you and another person you were involved with in the past. And the energy can flow both ways, but I feel like it's coming through strongly mutually, okay? It's linked up with the Judgment card, and the Judgment card is what I call like the Day of Reckoning. This is like all the information coming to light in glaring, full public view. So I feel like there was a major, major discovery. There was some major, major turning point, culmination in a relationship. And I feel like a lot of people were involved in it. And as a result, you can't keep things under wraps anymore. Okay, so whatever situation you were in, I feel that you hid it from other people. So you might have hid, you know, like what was going on in the relationship. And it's gotten to the point where, you know, people had to be involved, authorities had to be called even in order to rectify a situation. And I feel like you can no longer keep it under wraps. And the fact that it's coming into full view, into light, is basically a reality check. It's basically telling you enough's enough. You need to take better care of yourself. You need to get yourself out of this situation. Or enough is enough. Whatever you're doing with the other person is not healthy. So I feel a lot of you are were in this situation in the recent past. It's also linked up here with the Two of Swords. So let me just say here that you have moved on. You have moved on. I feel a lot of you might be seeking therapy. A lot of you might be getting a lot of like government assistance, either a social worker in order to assess your health, in order to take better care of yourself, or you're getting a lot of family support in order to help you with the next phase in your life. And now you're kind of like getting yourself back on your feet, and you're just like, okay, what do I go from here? And I feel a lot of you have the ability to bounce back, mainly because you know this situation is what it is, and you don't really have a choice. So you're kind of like moving forward, okay? But I feel that in the past you really struggle with this decision, and you're struggling about, you know, I feel like you're struggling because you can't really adequately make sense of it. Like there are still a lot of unanswered questions. There were still a lot of like, what ifs? What if I'd done differently, things differently? What if the other person, you know, came back? And I feel like they're saying this is final, it's the end of the line, it's already in the past, it's drifting away. So this situation cannot come back together. So if you were dealing with an air sign, Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra, I feel like that person is being pushed into the past, and they're not going to be making a comeback, okay? If you're dealing with a fire sign, there's still some karmic issues here, and it pertains to custody, money, financial entanglements, but I do see children as well. What's coming in the present position right now for this month we do have the Eight of Pentacles, which is you getting your life back in order, burying yourself in work, trying to forget the memory of the past, trying to like fix yourself. So this is a card about, sorting out your financial situation, sorting out your practical responsibilities, having a schedule, maintaining your weight, getting yourself into a very, very empowered state of being. So you are going out there, taking the proper steps in order to get your life back on track. And it's linked up with the Seven of Swords. And the Seven of Swords, I feel, this is a card about deception. This is a card about shifting, like sneaky. This is a sneaky energy. It's like sneakily shifting from one location to the next, okay? So if you have been, let me just say that if you are currently, the Eight of Pentacles is also a card where I think about Tinder, I think about like online dating, I think about people who are racking up the many, many options, the many women or the many men that they are talking to. And you want to be very careful, because I feel like if you are online dating, just be very careful. There's sneaky behavior coming through here, and there are people that are representing themselves in the best light, and what you see is not what you get. So be very, very careful. A lot of you are dealing with a fire sign, a Sagittarius, Aries, or Leo that you have recently met. If you're online dating, I feel that I feel like they might be misrepresenting themselves, okay? So just, take it slow, get to know them really well. And I do feel vice versa. Don't misrepresent yourself when you are out on the dating front, because I feel like things are going to come to light, okay? Things are going to be brought out in the open, and it might be difficult to try to do any damage control, okay? So the foundation, we have the Ace of Pentacles, which basically means that a lot of you are coming into a situation where there's money coming through for you. There are also like solid offers when it comes to people that want to meet you. It's linked up here with the Three of Swords, which is very interesting, because I feel like for some of you, there are solid options coming through, but I do feel that you are still very, very brokenhearted, that you want to date lightly rather than investing your all in a relationship. But overall, I feel that your sense of personal kind of like self-worth, your sense of like personal empowerment is being restored very, very slowly. But you're still going to need a lot of concrete actions, concrete like gestures from another person in order for you to invest yourself. A lot of you are also sitting back, letting other people come to you. So you're not charging full speed ahead, waiting for the other charging full speed ahead at the other person. You're waiting for offers to come through. You're waiting for people to, match up their words with real concrete evidence. And you're waiting for actions to show how much, what their intentions are. So you're not rushing in, you're not being naive anymore. You're a lot more careful and cautious about, your intentions. I feel like this is going to apply to a very small minority of you. But I do feel that a lot of you, you've been through a lot. You're a little bit jaded when it comes to dating. And I'm feeling that a lot of you are just thinking, I just want somebody to take care of me financially. I don't really believe in love anymore. I just want, to either date somebody that has a lot of wealth, or, just date somebody that can take care of me. And I want you to be very careful about that, because I feel like you have been through a lot. You're very jaded. And this, when you are with somebody that you're not in love with, it creates a lot of bad karma, and it creates a lot of blockages. I've seen it firsthand. Just want you to be very careful about that, okay? I've seen it happen where, if you lie to yourself, that's one thing, but if you lie to another person, and that can be very, very dangerous. And I'm getting a lot of heavy cards here that indicates to me that this might be the route that a few of you, men or women watching this, are contemplating, and I don't feel that that's the right way to go, okay? Because your life is not over. Just don't settle for a situation that is, below expectation, because I feel like in the past, you really loved somebody, and you loved on a very, very deep level, and that person really hurt you. And now you're just like, I'm jaded. I don't really believe in love anymore. I just want, I just want somebody stable, and you might not even love them. So don't deprive them of an opportunity for false love, or for meeting their true love, mainly because, if you're not 100% invested, let them go. Let them find somebody else, okay? So don't cheat the other person of an opportunity to meet their true love either. So what's coming through in the future position? We do have the Ten of Swords, and the Ten of Swords is pretty much the end, okay? This is kind of like betrayal, words thrown about that are very, very hurtful. And a lot of the times I see this card, it's sort of like beating a dead horse, or, a lot of the times words that are thrown about in fits of anger or rage, they still have lasting ramifications. So I feel like you want to be really careful about what you're saying. And I feel that Piscean people are very well mannered. Even when you're very upset, you would withdraw rather than, throw hateful words about. So I feel like this might be coming through from your external environment. It is making you quite angry, and I do feel that there might have been a lot of deception, a lot of lies, deception coming to light for this month. And if it happened in the past, you're still trying to give it another go. I feel like it's coming through in the future as well. And it's not something that can be, fixed, okay? So I feel pretty much that the end is near for this relationship, especially if you were in a situation where somebody was very coercive, very controlling. They might have a lot of financial stability, but I feel they were coercive, they were controlling. You couldn't find a way out. And I feel this is the month in which some other information is coming to light where you're not really going to have a choice. Okay, so they're telling you it would be pretty foolish. Just like seize the struggle, seize the battle, not seize as in grab, but like seize, like as in end, like just end that situation, because I feel like a lot of truths are coming to light, or at least, your intuition is kicking in, telling you something is off about this situation. If you continue down further, I feel that you're going to come into full realization that it wasn't, what you thought all along. So don't give it another, go around, okay? This is pretty much the end of a cycle. So just keep that in mind. If you are dealing with an air sign, Aquarius, Gemini, Libra, I feel unfortunately this is a situation where things are not as they seem. If you're dealing with a water sign as well, there is some shadiness going on. I feel like a lot of things are kept under the radar. A lot of things are kind of like hidden from view. And old fire signs, like, fire signs that you've been dealing with for quite some time, who is coercive and things like that, it's not going to work out well. So they're saying that with the fire sign, you're buying time, but it's not going to end well. You're just buying time, okay? Please be careful for this month, Pisces. If this sounds familiar to you, try to keep yourself very level-headed. And, if relationships need to end, they need to end. It's just the natural progression of things. Things are not meant to last forever. So if you are finding yourself in situations where you don't feel like you have total control over your life, you're with the wrong relationship partner. There's no other way to, sugarcoat that. So I feel for those of you who are newly single, you're still a little bit like, you're still in a situation where you might be dealing with exes, okay? You're trying to move on with your life, and exes keep coming back to bother you. And then others of you, you have like exes with children that you have children with, interfering with your love life. So that's coming through as well. So you just need to close the doors on them, set firm boundaries, reinforce your boundaries when it comes to like, here are the times that I'm available for you to drop off the kids and whatnot. And make sure that you don't reveal too much of what you're doing, okay? Because they don't need to know your business. So if it's an ex that is constantly interfering with the people that you're dating, you need to draw up boundaries. And I feel like you're not doing that sufficiently. So you need to like put up those walls, okay? I feel that emotionally you're in a good space. You're no longer, I feel like a lot of you might be a little bit jaded though. You're not like naive and, too trusting, but I feel like it's the opposite end where you might be just a little bit like jaded. And so either way, Pisces, I do wish you all the best. Take this with a grain of salt. It's guidance for people that need to hear it, okay? So I do wish you all the best. Take care of yourself, all right? And I'll be back for the mid-month reading. Hopefully this energy will clear up and then we'll have like better, I guess like better cards, I guess. So take care of yourself, all right? If you like to book a private reading, my information is in the description box, my website as well, where you can visit the website, see my availability, and book an appointment for yourself. I do wish you all the best. Take care. Bye-bye.